Welcome back to Morning Express. It's now 13 minutes after 8 and coming to you live from the KICC. And well, now I know why Nairobi is called the city in the sun. The sun is right in my eyes, so I hope I'm not squinting too much. But there you go. It is the 4th AGM for NSSF. And well, this morning I am joined and I have the pleasure of hosting Dr. Anthony Omerikwa, who is the CEO for NSSF. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
And today being the 4th AGM for NSSF, we're going to be bringing you live proceedings of what's going to be happening here throughout the day as they carry on with the AGM. But just to get a full understanding of the NSSF, the CEO is here to basically break it down for us. And let's start with, first of all, the objective of NSSF. Why does it exist? What is the why question?
Thank you very much. As you know very well, most people have a time limit during which when they're employed. You start work, you retire, then upon retirement you hope to contain and maintain the same lifestyle that you had during the period you're working. Now back to your question, what is the objective of NSSF? NSSF is intended and was created by the Act to cover your retirement. NSSF registers members. Every worker is eligible to become a member of NSSF. We normally register members, collect the contributions at the end of every month, invest that contribution, and pay off the benefits upon retirement. Between the collection and the payment of benefits, we also do the investment component of it. We invest your money, we try our best to optimize your returns so that the payoff is decent.
Now, those watching, some may, well, when you are employed, naturally the employer sometimes does register you and submit those funds for you. Is that automatic? Is that a legal requirement such that when I get a job, then I know that automatically my employer is supposed to do that?
Thank you. Contributions to NSSF are statutory. The process of registering to become a member as an employee is a responsibility of the employee himself. When you get a job, we compel employers to ensure that when they employ citizens or members of the workers, they make sure they have an NSSF number. So it's incumbent upon every Kenyan to register to become a member. I must be quick to say that even if you're privately employed or a sole proprietor or a business person, you can walk into an NSSF office and register yourself as a member. It's not necessarily tied to you being employed. Yeah, okay. It's open to every Kenyan.
And as an employee, is it my responsibility to ensure that I am a member of NSSF, or is that meant for my employer to do that automatically, such that, you know, like now when it comes to paying tax and whatever you pay to the government, the employer deducts that whether I know it or I don't, whether I like it or I don't. But now with NSSF, is that the same arrangement?
Actually, it's the responsibility of every Kenyan to become a member of NSSF. It's your personal responsibility. What happens when the employer comes in, it's because the employer contributes a portion of the money that is remitted to NSSF. But you as a person can register and pay up voluntarily to NSSF.
All right. And we do have testimonials of what the NSSF has been doing and what they have done so far. And we'll listen into that before we carry on with this discussion.
Ninaitwa Solomon Komen Kipkebut. Nafanya biashara ya kuosha nguo hapa Kabarnet. Hapa awali nilikuwa nafanya kazi na breweries. Nikaenda retirement. Nikalipwa pesa. Nikashindwa baada ya retirement nitafanya nini? Nikasema ninunue matatu, mwingine akasema wacha hiyo. Nikasema nifanye hii, mwingine akasema wacha hiyo, mwisho nikasema wacha ninunue dry clean. Nikanunua dry clean. Nikafanya kazi. Kuuliza pesa ya NSSF nikaambiwa hujafika miaka. Basi nikangojea mpaka siku moja manager akaniambia pesa yako imefika. Nikashughulika nikapata hiyo pesa. Wakati nililipwa niliongeza mashini ndogo ndogo ya kuosha nguo kama shati ambaye mashini kubwa ingeosha. Nikapata pesa na hizo pesa nikatumia kusomesha watoto yangu. Saisi Mtoto yangu wa mwisho kwa form 1. Na nashukuru NSSF kwa kunipatia pesa kama hizo. Na ningeomba serikali kama NSSF waongeze hii pesa. Ile mimi nilipata ilikuwa kidogo sana. Ningeomba wale wako waweke pesa mingi ndio wakienda retire wako na pesa mingi ya kujisaidia. Personally, I want to take this one as an example to me. Whenever you get this money, you don't rush to a decision. What you do, like me, I went to putting money in treasury bills as you think what to do. You don't rush to do anything. Just relax and wait and seek advice from experienced persons.
All right, and well, that's a testimonial there of a beneficiary of the NSSF. And in case you're joining us now, we are coming to you live from the KICC, where the 4th annual general meeting for the NSSF is going to be taking place. And joining me on set this morning is Dr. Anthony Omerikwa, who is the CEO. So we can see somebody there who's benefited. But before we get to the benefits and maybe details of how I can get that, what is a simple step for registration? What do I need to register?
Thank you. There are 2 ways you can do that. Number 1, you can walk straight into any NSSF office. We are also present in all the Huduma centers countrywide. If you are near one, you walk in and get your registration. If you are not near any Huduma center, you can go to our website, www.nssf.or.ke, and start the registration process.
Okay.
Yes.
And what documentation do I need? Maybe if I'm going there, just my ID number?
You just need your ID. There are 2 types of people who are registering. There's a voluntary, you as a business person, you can go as an individual. You can go register as a voluntary contributor. That's simpler. If you are employed, you go register with your letter of employment, your ID, then get your membership number.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, once you've registered, I begin my saving culture, as it were, because I'm hoping to save my money through my working period. What age is recommended? Are there age recommendations as to when I should, begin my savings?
You can start saving when you're 18, as soon as you get your national ID. Yes. I'll take this opportunity to clarify one thing here. There's an ideal amount of contribution that we had envisioned that we would be contributing. In 2013, Act number 45 of NSSF was enacted by the President. What happened thereafter is that some sections of the Act were suspended due to a court process. So the amounts that are being contributed presently is not the amount that were envisioned in the objects of the Act. Now, presently, we are still contributing the old amount that we were contributing in the previous Provident scheme, which is 400 shillings, 200 from you, 200 from your employer.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes a 400. For that, that's for an employed contributor.
All right. Go on.
For voluntary contributor, you can contribute any amount.
Any amount.
Yeah.
All right. And then the next question would be, am I able to follow up on my contributions? For instance, if I've been working for the last 5 years, I have been contributing, am I able to check how much have I saved so far and what, it has done so far?
Yes. We encourage employees to do that because of a few reasons. The most important thing is that there are some employers who deduct the contribution from the employees and don't remit it to NSSF. So how do I get to know to see my balances and how I've been contributing? Number 1 is a physical access to our offices and or Huduma centers. Secondly, we have an app which you can get in the App Store. It's an NSSF app. You download the app into an Android phone. Then you go through the motions of registering yourself. Then from there you can be able to, with a click of a button, see how much you've been contributing and see your statements.
Okay.
Yes.
And I can follow that up till whenever?
You can do it as many times as you want to.
Okay.
Yes.
And the system of registering, do I have to physically go to the NSSF, or is there a way I can register even maybe online or remotely?
We are working on a system where you can register remotely. But remember that at some point, you will have to come and claim your benefits. So as the system is set up now, for the first registration, there must be contact between you and our officers. Yes, for the purposes of identification. Now, after that, you can transact online and also lodge your benefits in the same way.
Okay, you mentioned that you invest and optimize on people's savings. How do you go about that?
There are a couple of ways. Number one, a forum like this where we keep on telling the contributors, please check your statements so that we know that the employers are compliant. Secondly, we have what we call relationship management, which is one of our strategies we've employed, where we reach out to employers and we talk to their staff to encourage them to save, because there's a minimum required contribution, but you can also do the voluntary contribution. The purpose of this saving is to ensure that you have a decent life after retirement. And the way things stand now with the court case in place, the contribution is minimum. Yes, and it can't guarantee you continuing to have the same lifestyle that you're having now. We envision...
Is that dependent on how much I put in?
Yes.
Okay.
Depends on how much you put in. Yeah.
All
Actually,
right.
you'll reap what you've put in, plus the interest, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do I have any say as a member of the NSSF in how my funds are used while I'm still saving? Or is that purely up to NSSF? And at the point where I need my funds, then I just come and withdraw or get my benefits? Actually,
we've come of age. We've come a long way. Like I alluded earlier, this is the 4th AGM, meaning since the fund started 52 years ago, we've only had 4 AGMs. That's a step towards good governance. Now, you as a contributor have an opportunity during this AGM to make propositions and proposals on how the fund can conduct its business. Secondly, under the Trustees Act, the moment you put your money in a trust, you inadvertently cede the power to decide on how it's invested to the trustees.
Okay.
Yes, that is not without a lot of checks and balances. We are normally audited by the Auditor Generals. RBA is our the people's eye on the same. They are our regulators. We follow the RBA Act, meaning that number one, your pension is protected. Secondly, RBA has prescribed how we go about investing. Unlike historically nowadays as NSSF, we stick to our core business of registration, collection. The investment component has been ceded to fund managers. Currently, we have 5 fund managers the top 5 fund managers in the country who handle our investment component. And with that, I think I can reassure the contributors that their money is prudently invested.
Okay, and yes. Of course, the question then many might ask is the guarantee. At the point where I need my money, how guaranteed is the fund that I'm going to get it?
Actually, we don't have any liquidity challenges. We normally do actuarial evaluation every year, and that is what informs our interest rate that we give out to our contributors. Meaning the funds that are set aside available for benefits payment are there.
Are there?
Yes.
And do I only benefit from the proceeds at the end of my working career, or are there other smaller benefits that maybe I reap over time and possibly, like with insurance, there are times you have small payments that they make over a period of time as long as you remember and you continue saving. Then there's also now a bigger benefit when now you're retired.
Actually, those benefits will accrue in the near future. Like I told you earlier that we haven't fully implemented our act. Our act provides that the trustees can come up with products to benefit the contributor. So the full implementation of the act will give us an opportunity to create more products that will benefit the contributor before the retirement period.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, in a case where my employer has been deducting my contributions but has not submitted it to NSSF, and I possibly have gone in and checked and found out what's my recourse, how do I go about it?
Actually, as soon as you identify that your employer has been deducting and has not been remitting, you report to the nearest NSF office, or you call our toll-free number. You inform us, then we take it up. It's our responsibility as NSSF and one of our mandates to do the registration and collection. Yes, the new act provides us with with the mandate to work to the employer, access his records, and make sure that deducted money is remitted.
Okay.
And for you as a contributor, you won't lose any interest, you won't lose any money, for as long as you prove to us that the money has been deducted. We will pay you your benefits.
But now
it is up to us to follow up the employer.
It would, my proof, I guess, would come maybe in form of a pay slip showing that
yes.
I have been deducted. But wouldn't that then put my job at risk? How do you go about now dealing with the employer without necessarily losing my job? Because that might be my only income that I have.
Yeah, there are 2 points of this lodge. If you are a young person aged 40 and you've realized that your employer is not remitting the money that they're deducting from you, the conversation between you and NSSF will be anonymous and in confidence. So what you tell us, you direct to us that employer X has been deducting my money and they've not been remitting. Like I told you, as we have compliance officers who who the act allows to walk into an enterprise, to walk into a premises and access the records. Yes. Once we access the records, we'll ensure that they make good the contribution plus a penalty, which will be loaded up to your interest upon your retirement. Yes.
And to the employer, what risks do they run when they do not submit on behalf of their employees?
It's very clear. There's a clear legal process to that. Once we realize that you've collected money and you haven't submitted, courtesy of that relationship management, we highlight it to you. We give you a period of time to make good that contribution. That notwithstanding, the amounts that have not been remitted has to be paid with a penalty on top. Yes.
Okay.
Because we regard it as a late submission of contributions.
Late submission of contribution.
Yeah.
And remember, if you have any questions that you have regarding your submissions of NSSF, maybe your benefits, if you'd like to check, remember, we've just been told that there is an NSSF app, which you can get from Google Store, I believe?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
on any Android phone?
Any Android phone,
okay,
yes.
and
yes.
I imagine the procedure for you to fill that in is quite simple. Yes. What does it require apart from my ID number? Does it require my employer's details?
Pretty much you create an account.
Okay.
You create an account. Yes.
Okay. Is there an online portal that I can also check my details, or is it just the app and walking into an NSSF physically? Actually,
there's an online portal where you can access your records. Yes. And if you go to our website, the details on how to get into the app are clearly stipulated there.
All right.
Actually, our website is a one-stop shop. If you have time, just scroll through it and you'll get the steps on how to easy access information from NSSF.
All right.
Yes.
And, well, we're talking matters NSSF. We're going to take a short break. But maybe even during that break, you can take the opportunity to check out your details and find out what your contributions are as we continue. If you have any questions, remember, you're free to send them through, and I'll be more than happy to pose them to the CEO, Anthony Omerikwa, who is on set with me this morning as we come live from